Good morning. Welcome to Walmart. Harold Chen said cheerfully to the three customers who entered together but immediately separated toward different departments, their coordinated movement triggering the same pattern recognition instincts that had once helped him identify terrorist communication networks for the National Security Agency. Harold continued greeting other customers with his characteristic warmth while mentally cataloging the subtle behavioral indicators that suggested the three individuals were conducting organized retail theft, synchronized timing, predetermined roles, and surveillance evasion techniques that would be invisible to most observers but were immediately recognizable to someone trained in intelligence analysis. "Have a great day," he called to a family with children, while simultaneously noting that the suspicious trio was implementing what appeared to be a sophisticated distraction and theft operation that he had been tracking for 3 weeks. What store management and fellow employees didn't know was that the friendly greeter who noticed every detail about customer behavior was Dr. Harold Chen, retired, Senior Intelligence Analyst, National Security Agency, who had spent 28 years analyzing global communication patterns and threat indicators before choosing Walmart customer service as a way to use his analytical skills for peaceful community protection. Harold Chen, 67 years old, had been working as a part-time greeter at the Walmart Supercenter in suburban Fairfax, Virginia, for 2 years and 4 months, maintaining the same systematic attention to pattern recognition and behavioral analysis that had characterized his 28-year career as a senior intelligence analyst with the National Security Agency. Every morning at 8:45 a.m., he arrived wearing the standard Walmart vest, carrying a notebook that contained customer service information, inventory observations, and detailed notes about store operations that reflected analytical habits developed during decades of intelligence work. The store management and customers knew Harold as the greeter who remembered everyone's name, who somehow anticipated customer needs before they were expressed, and who had an uncanny ability to identify potential problems before they developed into serious issues. He had become one of the most popular employees in the store, with customers specifically seeking him out for assistance and advice that went far beyond typical retail customer service. What people didn't notice was Harold's automatic threat assessment when customers entered the store, the way he recognized behavioral patterns that indicated everything from shoplifting attempts to customer distress, the way he organized his observations with systematic precision that suggested training beyond typical retail experience. His approach to customer service was thorough and analytically sophisticated in ways that reflected skills developed in much more complex contexts. Harold had chosen Walmart customer service specifically because it allowed him to use pattern recognition and analytical thinking to help people in straightforward, positive ways. After 28 years of intelligence work that had required him to analyze global communication patterns for threats to national security, work that had been intellectually stimulating but psychologically demanding. His NSA career had begun in 1995 when the agency recruited him from MIT, where he had completed a doctoral dissertation in applied mathematics with focus on statistical pattern recognition and communication analysis. The combination of advanced mathematical training, analytical thinking skills, and security clearance eligibility had made him an ideal candidate for intelligence analysis during the early development of digital communication monitoring systems. Harold's training had been extensive and classified. Months at NSA facilities learning everything from advanced cryptographic analysis to behavioral pattern recognition, communication network mapping, and threat assessment procedures designed for identifying security risks in massive data streams. He had specialized in developing analytical methodologies that could identify suspicious patterns in communication traffic that might indicate terrorist planning or foreign intelligence operations. Harold's assignments had included analysis of international communication patterns, development of threat detection algorithms, and coordination with other intelligence agencies on projects that remained classified even decades after completion. He had earned recognition for analytical innovations that had improved the agency's ability to identify potential security threats. But the work had required constant focus on potential dangers and threat scenarios that had gradually become psychologically exhausting. When Harold retired from the NSA, he had been offered positions with defense contractors, private intelligence firms, and academic institutions that would have used his analytical expertise in lucrative consulting roles. But after nearly 3 decades of analyzing threats and security risks, Harold had chosen retail customer service because it allowed him to use his pattern recognition skills to help people rather than identify dangers. The Walmart Supercenter where Harold worked served a diverse suburban community of families, professionals, and retirees who appreciated the store's combination of competitive prices, comprehensive inventory, and customer service that had improved significantly since Harold joined the greeting staff. During his 2 years at Walmart, Harold had developed detailed knowledge of customer patterns, inventory flow, and store operations that impressed management with its accuracy and usefulness for improving retail efficiency and customer satisfaction. "Harold," said store manager Lisa Rodriguez during one of their regular meetings, "your observations about customer behavior and inventory patterns have been incredibly valuable. You seem to notice things that other employees miss." "Mrs. Rodriguez, I enjoy analyzing patterns and helping customers. When you pay attention to details, you can often anticipate needs and prevent problems." What Lisa didn't realize was that Harold's attention to details was based on analytical techniques he had learned for processing massive amounts of information to identify significant patterns, skills that were directly applicable to retail operations and customer service. The situation that would reveal Harold's background began in September, when the store started experiencing losses that seemed to indicate organized retail theft rather than random shoplifting. The theft patterns were sophisticated, targeting high-value items, and appeared to involve coordination between multiple individuals who were avoiding detection by traditional loss prevention measures. Harold's analytical training immediately recognized the theft patterns as indicating professional criminal activity. He began systematically documenting suspicious behavior using observation techniques and pattern analysis that he had learned during his NSA career. Harold's analysis revealed that the store was being targeted by what appeared to be an organized retail crime ring, a sophisticated operation that used teams of thieves, predetermined target lists, and coordinated timing to steal merchandise for resale through illegal networks. "Mrs. Rodriguez," Harold said during a routine meeting, "I've been observing some customer behavior patterns that might indicate organized theft activity." Lisa was impressed by Harold's systematic approach to the loss prevention problem. "Harold, what kind of patterns are you seeing?" Harold presented documentation that looked more like intelligent analysis than typical retail loss prevention. Detailed suspect profiles, behavioral analysis charts, and pattern recognition data that demonstrated investigative skills beyond normal customer service training. These individuals are working in coordinated teams, targeting specific merchandise categories, and using distraction techniques that suggest professional training in retail theft operations. Lisa realized that Harold's analysis was far more sophisticated than typical employee observations about suspicious customers. "Harold, your documentation is remarkably detailed. Do you have experience with loss prevention or security analysis?" Harold hesitated, the way he always did when people asked about his analytical background. "Some experience with pattern recognition and behavioral analysis. Mrs. Rodriguez, I noticed details about customer behavior." The conversation was interrupted by the arrival of the 3 suspicious customers that Harold had been tracking for weeks. He immediately recognized their coordinated entry pattern and began implementing observation procedures that would provide evidence for law enforcement if theft occurred. Harold's surveillance of the suspected thieves was systematic and professional, based on techniques he had learned from monitoring communication patterns and behavioral indicators during his NSA career. He tracked their movements through the store, documented their coordination methods, and identified the specific theft techniques they were using to avoid detection. When the theft team attempted to leave the store with stolen merchandise, Harold had assembled comprehensive evidence that included detailed behavioral documentation, coordination analysis, and identification information that impressed responding law enforcement officers. "Officer Martinez," Harold said as he provided his evidence to the investigating detective, "these individuals have been conducting organized theft operations at the store for approximately 3 weeks. I have documentation of their methods, timing patterns, and coordination techniques." Detective Martinez was amazed by the quality and detail of Harold's evidence package. "Sir, this documentation is exceptional. You provided more useful intelligence about organized retail crime than we typically receive from professional loss prevention specialists." Detective I have some experience with analytical work. Pattern recognition and behavioral analysis are skills that transfer to many different contexts. Detective Martinez recognized that Harold's analytical capabilities demonstrated training beyond typical retail experience. Sir, what kind of analytical background do you have? The conversation that followed revealed Harold's NSA experience and his reasons for choosing retail customer service over careers that would more obviously use his intelligence analysis expertise. Detective Martinez, I spent 28 years as a senior intelligence analyst with the National Security Agency. I retired and chose retail work because I wanted to use analytical skills to help people in peaceful, positive ways. Detective Martinez understood immediately why Harold's theft investigation had been so comprehensive and professional. Dar Chun, NSA analytical training is among the most sophisticated in the government. Your expertise could be invaluable for law enforcement intelligence analysis. The organized retail theft investigation that Harold had initiated led to the arrest of a criminal network that had been operating throughout the region, stealing merchandise from multiple stores for resale through online platforms and illegal retail networks. Harold, said store manager Rodriguez after the successful prosecution of the theft ring, your analysis and documentation were crucial for stopping criminal activity that was affecting not just our store, but businesses throughout the area. Harold's response reflected his commitment to his chosen career path. Mrs. Rodriguez, I'm a Walmart greeter who happens to have experience with pattern analysis. My focus is on providing good customer service and helping protect our store and customers. But Harold's expertise had attracted attention from other retail organizations and law enforcement agencies who were dealing with similar organized crime problems. 3 months after the theft ring investigation, Harold was approached by the Virginia Retail Association about developing training programs for retail employees who needed to recognize and respond to organized criminal activity. Dar Chun, said Association Director Michael Park, your successful investigation demonstrated that retail employees can protect their stores from organized crime if they understand what to look for and how to document evidence effectively. Harold accepted the consulting position while continuing his work at Walmart. The combination allowed him to use his NSA analytical expertise to help retail businesses protect themselves from criminal activities while maintaining his commitment to customer service in his local community. Harold's training programs for retail employees emphasize practical techniques for recognizing organized criminal behavior, documenting suspicious activity, and coordinating with law enforcement in ways that protected businesses while maintaining positive customer service environments. The goal, Harold explained to retail managers during one of his training sessions, is developing observational awareness that enhances customer service rather than creating suspicion. Good pattern recognition helps you serve customers better while also identifying genuine security concerns. Harold's work with retail crime prevention led to additional opportunities that connected his current career with his NSA experience in unexpected ways. 6 months after the Walmart investigation, Harold received a call from the FBI's Cybercrime Division asking him to consult on investigations involving organized criminal networks that were using online platforms to coordinate retail theft operations. Dar Chun, said FBI Special Agent Jennifer Walsh, your combination of NSA analytical training and practical retail experience makes you uniquely qualified to help us understand how organized crime groups are using digital communication to coordinate theft operations. Harold agreed to provide consulting services while maintaining his Walmart customer service responsibilities. His work helped law enforcement agencies understand how criminal organizations were adapting intelligence and communication techniques for retail crime operations. The analytical principles are similar whether you're monitoring international communication or tracking retail crime networks, Harold explained to FBI analysts. The key is understanding communication patterns and behavioral indicators that reveal organizational structure and operational methods. A year after the theft ring investigation, Harold had become a recognized expert in retail crime analysis and was regularly invited to speak at law enforcement conferences and retail security events about applying intelligence analysis techniques to commercial crime prevention. His presentation at the National Retail Federation Security Conference focused on the principle that had guided his approach to the Walmart investigation. Retail crime prevention benefits from the same analytical thinking used for national security, systematic observation, pattern recognition, and evidence documentation that reveals criminal organization and methodology. But Harold's primary focus remained Walmart customer service, where he continued greeting customers and using his analytical skills to enhance retail operations and community service. Harold said regular customer Dorothy Martinez during one of her shopping visits, "I read about your investigation in the newspaper. I had no idea you used to work for the government." Mrs. Martinez, "I'm the same greeter who helps you find what you need and remembers that you prefer the mobility scooters near the pharmacy entrance. The only difference is that now people know I have experience with analytical work." Harold, "Do you ever miss the excitement of intelligence work?" Harold considered the question carefully. Mrs. Martinez, "I don't miss the stress or the focus on threats and dangers. But I do appreciate that my analytical experience allows me to help protect our store and serve customers more effectively." 2 years after the organized theft investigation, Harold received recognition from both the National Association of Intelligence Officers and the Retail Industry Leaders Association for developing crime prevention programs that had reduced organized retail theft throughout Virginia. His story was featured in intelligence community publications as an example of how analytical skills could be applied to civilian security challenges, inspiring other retired intelligence professionals to consider careers that use their expertise to protect local communities. Today, Harold Chen continues working as a Walmart greeter while also serving as a recognized expert in retail crime analysis and intelligence-based loss prevention. He still arrives every morning at 8:45 a.m., still greets customers with genuine warmth and helpfulness, and still treats customer service as a serious professional responsibility. But he also provides analytical consulting for retail businesses, trains employees in pattern recognition techniques, and works with law enforcement agencies to identify and disrupt organized criminal networks that target commercial establishments. The Walmart entrance where Harold greets customers displays a small plaque that reads, "In appreciation of associates who serve our community with distinction." Harold requested that the recognition honor all retail employees rather than individual achievement. Harold's story reminds us that intelligence analysis expertise doesn't diminish when applied to civilian purposes. It enhances. That NSA analytical training can improve retail security just as effectively as it protects national security. That the same pattern recognition techniques used to monitor global communications can be used to identify criminal activity and protect local businesses. The next time you're greeted at a retail store, remember Harold Chen. Remember that they might have analytical experience gained in contexts and agencies you can't imagine. Remember that they might have chosen customer service not because they lack other qualifications, but because they found meaningful ways to apply extraordinary skills to serve their community in peaceful, positive contexts. Sometimes the most important intelligence work happens not in classified facilities or government agencies, but in retail stores where former NSA analysts choose to use their expertise to protect customers and communities while providing excellent customer service. Sometimes the greatest analytical expertise belongs to people wearing retail vests rather than security badges, people who've chosen to apply intelligence training to civilian community service, ensuring that the skills developed for national security can be used to enhance local business security and customer protection. We need to recognize and appreciate the skilled analytical professionals among us who've chosen to serve quietly, especially those whose previous service required analyzing threats and dangers so that ordinary people could shop safely and confidently in their local communities. Because true analytical expertise doesn't disappear when security clearances end, it just finds new applications. And sometimes the most valuable intelligence training involves not national security threats, but community protection that ensures the systematic observation developed for NSA analysis can be used to create safer, more secure retail environments for everyone.